All right, guys, let's go ahead and officially get rolling. Happy September 6th, 8:35. Cue the Earth, Wind, and Fire song. Here we are. It is September. So you guys, I'm happy to be here. And somebody asked me earlier how my trip to San Diego was, and it was multiple things. And I'll share with you the feelings and the sentiment. So first and foremost, I'm from San Diego. I left San Diego in 2004. Completely, at the bottom of the barrel. I had hit rock bottom. I had fallen deep into my addiction, and I chose to leave San Diego. And I won't tell that whole story because I've told it before. I left San Diego with $70 a backpack and a dream. And so every time I go back, it's always humbling. I'm always reminded of how far I've come and what I was able to achieve by making some choices in my life to remove myself from that situation. So going back to San Diego, I always make a promise to see my mom, to see my nephew, and see my best friend. And it was a very, very short trip. And I also had to get the mastermind in and connect with all of our EXP folks. And so on a personal side, it was, incredible to go back and see everyone. But I went back to my hometown, and my best friend still lives in my hometown. It's called Lemon Grove. And the reason why they still live there is that they're inheriting a house. And so he's like, I could go somewhere else, but my in-laws are going to pass us this house. So they live in a decent area of Lemon Grove. But doing going to the taco shop and going and seeing my old city since 94. Now, mind you, at that year, I was 14 years old, walking the streets and doing what we were doing. Like, that city has not changed at all. I mean, at all. There's no new development. There's no, new funds to build in Lemon Grove. There's misappropriation of funds. There is very limited protection from law enforcement. You think a city that size should have an average of about 9 deputies. Now, this is coming directly from a police officer I had a conversation with when I was getting coffee, and the city only has 2. If somebody gets busted for meth, they literally get a citation that's a misdemeanor, and they don't even go to jail. They literally take the drugs. Now, if it was a large amount, then they would take that person to jail. But if it's just a small bag of meth, that person gets a citation just like you would if you got a speeding ticket, and they're released back into the wild. And I'm sitting there getting coffee in La Mesa, where the mastermind was. And La Mesa is a city over. Now, La Mesa has new development. They have a booming downtown. They have an amazing place to get coffee and food. And it was just felt progressive, right? Felt very progressive. Well, I go to the coffee shop. I'm waiting for my coffee, and there's a police officer and somebody else in uniform. I don't know what their title was. And I just started having a conversation with them. I said, what is your thoughts on Lemon Grove? Why hasn't Lemon Grove progressed? And we just started chatting, and he's telling me all these things, and why there's no money, why the city is so broke, and why crime is so rampant, and why the homelessness, and all these things. And I'm sitting there in that moment. I said, man, 20 years ago, you and I, we would never be having this conversation. I left this town in 2004, at the bottom of the barrel. I would have never chose to speak to a cop openly. And the fact that I'm having this conversation with the police officer, and he's just like, hey, man, I'm really happy for you and everything that you were able to accomplish in your life. And it was just a really, really cool conversation. But it made me super humble, right? To remember my roots, where I came from, right? And know that I came out of a situation that a lot of the odds were stacked against me. And to be able to go back and spend time with my friends and family, I had a true moment of reflection, true moment of gratitude, and just excited to be where I am, to be able to live in an environment here with my family where we don't have some of those challenges that I have in my hometown. And it was really just a moment of true gratitude. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I know it's kind of all over the place, but I want to share that thought and that sentiment with you. In a moment, I will share my thoughts on the mastermind, and we'll go there. But I want to bring it to one of you guys to bring us out on the field on this beautiful Friday morning, set the tone, set the sentiment. I'm going to go to Blessing because she's middle of the screen. And I always like the way she starts us off. So Blessing, I'm going to go over to you and have you take us out on the field on this beautiful Friday morning. So Silas would say, hit him. Let's hit him.
Well, let's go then. Happy Friday, everyone. Elias, as you were talking, I always you can always tell when the call is going to be really, really good when everything starts to flow, because the past few days has been a reflection and looking back at everything that I've been able to accomplish. And sometimes we don't take the time to really recognize how far we really have come. We are all in this business. We are scraping, we are clawing, we are just, sometimes it feels like we are just trying to make it through the day because there's so much that we have to sort through. But if you can take a moment and reflect and just recognize how far you truly have come, you're going to awake that inner badass again. And you're just going to know there's going to be a different kind of fire about how you approach the business, how you approach the day, just seeing. Maybe it's not a 20-year reflection like Elias just shared, but maybe you just need to see where you were 30 days ago. Maybe you look at where you were a year ago or 5 years ago and realize, like, I'm not the same person. I am not the same person I was. I'm not what I thought I was. This is not that hard. And it's such a beautiful gift to give yourself, to just sit back and reflect every now and then, to just recognize, like, you really are doing an amazing job at life as with everything going on. So, Elias, I love the fact that you got to sit there and have a conversation with the cop and just, to see that and over a span of 20 years. And like I said, you don't really need 20 years to be really, really proud of where you are right now. So if you haven't had a chance to just look back and reflect, please do, because you will just be so floored with yourself. So
That's, that's
take
right.
that moment.
You know what? 20 years ago, I was standing next to a cop. I would have never chose to get into a conversation. What my mind would have thought of is like, what do I have on me? Do I smell like weed? Does he know what I did last night? Like all these things, right? And so it was cool to just be able to have like an adult conversation with a police officer and not have to worry about him like, do I have a warrant or any of that? So my life has changed quite a bit. It also makes me think of you guys when I'm looking around this room, like the impact that we all have. We all had our ratchet days. We probably had our club days. Maybe some of you still go to club, and I'm not knocking that. You guys go home, drink your hydration packs, do whatever you got to do, get ready for the next day. But we all had those times in our life. Maybe we were partying too much. We didn't have life figured out. We were just, running amok and getting in trouble, right? And then I look around the room and I see like local leaders in your neighborhoods, right? Local politicians. Donna just got back from speaking for something that's going to impact, Congress and housing. You look at Daniela, who's president of PTA. There's probably a time in her life where she could have never thought that I'm going to be president of PTA. Vernon speaking at schools, all the things that you're doing in the community. Brianna hosting her first event. Ophelia and Anna doing the neighborhood, garage sales. I'm on the board of directors for Little League. What? I don't even have been on a board of directors for Little League, but I'm really passionate about this because all of us have an ability to take all these things that we have done in our life and experiences that we've had and say, you know what, I'm in this role, in this industry that allows me to go and make an impact out there. So I know that it's a grind sometimes, like, what am I going to do? And how am I going to find my next sale? But like, I want you guys to think bigger and say, how can my involvement with that allow me to be exposed to more people? And then by osmosis, I'm the one that is identified as the person that can help them with any type of real estate needs, right? If the leads aren't picking up, if the leads are dry and you haven't had your pipeline full, like I want you guys to, when in doubt, focus out. Somebody told me that early in my career, when in doubt, focus out and look around. And there's so many things that you guys could get involved with because you truly want to get involved, not because I'm going to make some money from that. No, I want to get involved. I want to make an impact. And by doing that, there's more eyes on me and what I do. And my hope is that I could bring more awareness to our industry and help more families out. So you guys, we all have an opportunity and I'm really excited to be where we are. Let's talk a little bit about the mastermind. But before I go on, does anybody have any thoughts, contributions on the topic of where we're at right now? Because I don't want to miss out on any opportunities and miss any hands. Anybody going once? All right, throw your hand up as an emoji. That way I can see it. Let's go, Cynthia Jackson, rapid fire. What's your contribution on the topic?
So my contribution on the topic is that while I was doing intensity, I was also building out a nationwide movement for voter registration in the stepping community. So, that was two big, huge, major events happening at the same time. And so now I can start actually advertising that because I didn't advertise it yet. But, now that it's all huge, it's all big, it's outside of me and what we're doing here and everything. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yes, I love it. Can't wait to share and see all of this and what that entails. Let's go, Zali. Zali, let's hear from you. Zali, I've seen you show up recently in regards to just getting yourself uncomfortable on video and showing up. And so people are seeing you and I love it. So Zali, let's hear from you. Contributions.
Yeah, it's been very uncomfortable, I have to say. Still social media is not my thing, but I'm getting through it. JJ, I have to say I've been reaching out to people lately, and that's been great. I'm super grateful for everyone that's been there to just give me advice and just say do it. JJ the other day was like, I haven't seen a post about the after open house thing. I'm like, oh, I haven't done it. Maybe next weekend. And he's like, I want to see it today. So I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. So things like that here and there. But my little contribution is that I heard something the other day. Um, Someone saying that most people say learn from your mistakes, but there is a lot to learn from your successes too. Because when you succeed, then you can see a pattern there. Why was it that you succeeded on something? And that pattern can be used for other things. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, a process, but it goes to the core, like who what was in you that made you succeed that time, what was important to you, and then you can take that and go with that and move in and roll and do something else. So that was it. Learn from your, not only from your mistakes but also from your successes, because that says a lot.
Love it. I'm gonna share something with you, and this goes for everybody on the call. So Zali, when you started talking, you said 3 words. And I want to encourage you, implore you, and inspire you to remove these words and replace them with something else. You keep saying, and you say this over and over again, and I want you to be aware of this because we bring truth to the words that we speak. You keep saying social media is not my thing. Social media is not my thing. So what happens is that you continue to create a belief that it's not your thing. I don't really like this. I'm not really good at this thing. Instead of saying, social media is something that I'm learning, something I'm evolving, and something that I'm growing into. I'm finding my voice, I'm finding ways to get uncomfortable, and it's really pushing me, but I've seen how much I've grown in just a short amount of time. Throw these words out that it's not my thing, because here's what the thing is. Zali, do you want to impact your community?
Oh yeah, I do.
Stay with me. Do you want to make a better life for you and for your family?
Hell yeah.
Do you want to give your mom opportunities that maybe she wasn't able to give you?
Yes,
So is that your thing?
that's my thing. Yeah.
So social media can help you to be a vessel to all those things. Then in essence, social media is your thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's something that I am learning to apply to get better at in order for me to be able to reach more people, impact more people. And as a result of my success, all these people are going to be impacted. So remove the words. And I want to encourage you. It's not my thing. It is something that I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm progressing on. And I'm really proud of everything that I've been able to accomplish thus far. Make
Yes,
sense?
sir. Makes total sense. I'll do that.
Let's go. I appreciate your contributions, Ali. Let's go, Demian. Let's go, Brianna. And then we'll shift gears. We'll get right into my takeaways from the mastermind. Let's go, Demian Bledsoe.
Good morning. Good morning. I missed all y'all. But I just wanted to add in on the community aspect. This would be the 19th consecutive volunteer at the Alameda County Community Food Bank that I've been organizing. And I haven't had the turnout that I wanted to, but it was because I didn't refine it and adjust accordingly. So now, and excuse me, I've been sick for a week, so I'm out of breath. But now I have changed it to the second Thursday of every month. So it lines up with Team Fast schedule. So more of my teammates can make it out. So the sign up link is on our calendar now. Molly has the next 2 months on the calendar. And yeah, if you guys can come out and help, it would be much appreciated because it's a super worthy cause. But yeah, just keep going, keep doing something, and those efforts will stack and they will add up to something. And I couldn't even imagine missing a month now, going on 2 years of doing this. Like it's really worthwhile. So whatever it is that you're interested in that helps somebody else is worthwhile.
God, I absolutely love that. I love that. Hopefully you feel a little bit better, my man. I know it's going around, and so get well. Brianna Tejeda, aka Chicken Mom, let's hear from you.
So I just want to come on here and say the self-talk, that is so important. It has to be positive. That was my biggest killer, especially with social media, is I don't like video. Social media is not my thing. And when I changed the self-talk, the social media got easier. It's my thing. Self-talk, we got to keep it positive. If you don't talk nice to yourself, why would anyone else? And that's just basically. And missing 2 days of coaching, don't like it.
Don't like it? All right. All right. Well, I respect that. I appreciate that. I heard somebody say that we spend the most time with ourselves, right? So, we have to honor thyself. We have to speak words of light and wisdom into ourselves. We have to take care of ourselves, our body, our mind, our temple, all those things. And so I really resonate with that. So let's get right into my thoughts and takeaways from the event. And there was one question that I'm going to use this as we start to, dive deeper. If you guys have never done a one-on-one with me, I want to encourage you guys to do that, because we're going to go a little bit deeper than a general session. Obviously, I try to hit some depth here, but when it's just you and I, we can look at your social media, we can look at your follow-up boss, we can look at how you're tracking and measuring your success. There's just a different level that we can get to, going one-on-one. So I would encourage you guys, if you need a little extra help, a little extra push, you can get on my calendar at any time at calleliasastuto.com and book a session with me. The reason why I bring this up, you guys, is because I want you to think about this. No matter where you're at, whether you're brand new, you're an up-and-comer, or you're an experienced, seasoned agent, you all at some high level have some type of goal, whether it's a monetary goal, it's a unit goal, it's a volume goal, but it's all rooted around, is this going to support my lifestyle, what I want to do, what I want to accomplish, and where I'm going over the course of the next year, 3 years, and 5 years. And so when you think about the goals, and I want you to really sit with this question, if for some reason you're not hitting your goal, whatever that is, you need to ask yourself, do I want to increase my activity or do I want to decrease my goal? Right? So, and think about that. Well, if I am not hitting my goal, then that means I probably have to really increase my activities, increase the amount of conversations that I'm having, increase the amount of at-bats, the communication I'm having, the follow-up, the open houses, the door knocking, the social media, all those things, right? Or I'm going to choose not to do those things, which is okay as well. Then I just need to decrease the goal, right? So I want you guys to be able to celebrate these types of wins, but you need to be very clear and you need to ask yourself that question. Do I want to decrease my activities or do I want to increase my activities or do I want to decrease my goal? And there was something powerful that was stated at the mastermind, and it was the power of 2 hours. What we find in this business, I've coached thousands and thousands of people, what we find is that sometimes agents in this business have the hardest time doing part-time work in this business. Now, let's call you guys the minority, right? That you guys are not part of that class, but for most people in this game, they find it super challenging just to spend 2 calculated hours a day doing follow-up and lead generation, right? 2 hours just straight, uninterrupted. But I want you to think about your business right now. And if you're not doing that, sit with that on your own. If you're not doing 2 hours calculated lead generation and follow-up to your database, like, are you truly working in this business as an entrepreneur? Because for most people, they're not even doing part-time work, but they want to get paid like an elite player. They want to get paid like an elite athlete, but they're not even willing to commit 2 hours. So I want you guys to think about this. If you were just to commit 2 hours uninterrupted, you got your coffee, you got your scripts, fuck the laundry, fuck the chickens, just sit there and just, sorry, Brianna, and you make the calls and you lead generate and you work the database or you work the lead pond if you're brand new and you're just starting out. 2 hours calculated. And all I'm trying to do is get to 2 conversations, right? 2 conversations. Imagine where your business would be. But I have people that say, you know what? I've been working with this buyer. We've been going back and forth. So they didn't prospect for 2 weeks. 2 weeks? How much fire are you actually putting out with that buyer that you couldn't spend some time, 2 hours, making phone calls? So I want you guys to be very conscious of a dedicated 2 hours a day to say, this is my time to work in my business, income producing activities. And if you're not doing that now, what you're going to find that in a month from now, 2 months from now, you're going to see those results, good, bad, or indifferent. But if you're spending that time, 2 hours calculated every single day, lead generation and follow up, you will see that because you're going to have more conversations. And what's going to happen is that your conversation becomes more fluid. Oh, we're not interested. Okay, Tom, let me take you off my list. But before I let you go, when you were interested in buying a house in Daly City, what was your goal then and what changed? right? You're able to get into a rhythm and get into a flow. So is it safe to say, Brianna, that the dream of home ownership is still alive for you and your family? Wonderful. Then what happened? What changed and what got you off course? Right? Like there's important dialogue that you need to have that it's only going to come from repetition. So I want to encourage everybody to make sure, non-negotiable, no matter what happens, that you have 2 dedicated hours a day of just cold calling, of lead generation. It doesn't have to be cold, and follow up to your database, right? If you do that, I promise your business will be in a different place, Because look around and look at your last couple of weeks. There's probably days that you didn't do that. And then there's probably days where you look back, you're like, what the fuck did I do? Right? Did it take me 3 hours to clear out my inbox because it's so flooded with spam? I just sat there and I delete. I'm like, oh my God, let me read this. And oh my God, let me check Instagram. And oh my God, let me do this. And right? Like squirrel. Dedicate yourself to sit there for 2 hours and say, I'm going to make an appointment. I'm going to get a conversation. Nicole Penland, wonderful. I know we spoke back in July and you were thinking about purchasing a home in Concord. I wanted to close that loop and see where you guys are at now, right? There's so many opportunities out there for you. So I want to encourage you guys to make sure that you have a solid 2 hours no matter what. And let's talk about the gap. Curtis Johnson, who is a huge player in EXP, he is one of the top agent attractors in our entire business. Now, I'm going to go extreme with this because Curtis Johnson, when I first met him, he showed me what he was getting paid monthly in agent attraction in RevShare. Check this out. This was 3 years ago that I met him. And he's like, I'll share it with you. I'm okay with that. That number was $300,000 in 1 month. So just sit with that for a minute. In 1 month. I'm nowhere at that level. Kenny's nowhere at that level, but it just showed me what was possible. And here's this guy that is, a millionaire. And he's sitting there in just a regular shirt and he's giving a presentation to us. And there's proximity and we're having conversations with him. That's why it's so powerful to go to these masterminds, you guys. I want to be the smallest fish in the biggest pond. That's what I want for myself because I want to get that information and bring it back to you guys. And he did a presentation that had nothing about his wealth, nothing about agent attraction. And he talked about the money is in the gap. He said this, average agents will do this, and this is what we do that makes this difference. The point is that the money is always going to be in the gap. If there is no clear delineation from what you offer and what that other agent offers, then why would they pay you anymore to work with you, right? There needs to be a clear gap. Create that gap from the moment you start working with a seller or with a buyer. Can you truly, truly articulate, showcase, illustrate, document that separation from you and an average agent? The money is in the gap, right? The money's not like, oh, I have Cynthia, I have June. Wonderful, they offer similar services, any, mini, money, mo, I pick June. No, there needs to be such a glaring gap of why I would choose to work with you versus anybody else. Other agents in your market should be scared to go up against you. They should go, oh, you're talking to Princess. Oh, okay, like I'm a little fearful. And we all have that. There's agents in the market that if you go to a certain area in downtown, or if you go to a certain area in Walnut Creek and you're up against like a Renee White or an Andrea Gordon, like there's names out there. Why isn't that your name, right? Why isn't that your name? So creating the gap. And here's something I want you guys to sit with for a second. I thought this was really powerful. Profit flows, hold on, let me let Lisa in so she doesn't miss this. All right, it says, profit flows to differences and runs from similarities, okay? Profit flows to differences. So you have to unpack all of this. And we've been doing this since May. We've been really looking at your processes, your buying process, what makes you different, how you show up. And I'm going to put more on that, right? How can we really, really be the separation and create a bigger gap between you and your competition? Wealthy are paid for expertise and results. You may want to capture that, write that down. Wealthy are paid for expertise and results. The lowest are paid to trade time for money, right? Oh, you're going to do this. There's no real clear thing of what you do. Okay, I'll pay you that, right? I'm going to give Princess X amount of money for her time because that's what I'm trading, time for money. And so I want you guys to think about the gap. The bigger the gap, the more money that you guys will make. That's why there's top brokerages in the industry. That's why there's top agents in the industry. That's why there's top listing agents, buyers agents. And when you think outside of our company, that's why there is a big difference between a Coca-Cola, between a Pepsi, right? Between an Apple, between a Microsoft. There's always going to be a bigger gap. And when you think about the gap, those are the ones that are making the most money. So I want you guys to fill in the blanks for me. And I want you guys to really put yourself in this moment. And I'll slow down so you guys can write this. I didn't create a slide on this. I just have some notes. I want you guys to write this, and I want you to fill in the blanks. You can put it from a context of I'm working with the buyer or I'm working with the seller. Whatever one is more applicable to you and to your business. But here's how it goes. You know how basic agents blank. You know how basic agents just take your listing and put it on the MLS and cross their fingers in hopes that they get calls, right? I'm just giving you an example. You know how basic agents blank. What we do is blank that allows you to blank so that you can blank. Makes sense, right? So stay with me, okay? You know how basic agents just put your house on the MLS and cross their fingers in hopes that they're going to get calls in? What we do is a comprehensive approach to make sure that we're utilizing our network of thousands of people, not only here in the Bay Area, but outside the Bay Area, to expose your property. And we enhance that by top-level marketing, online, digital, as well as on social media. That allows you to make sure you're getting the most eyes on your property and make sure that you're getting the most traffic in that sweet point, which is the first 2 weeks of putting your house on the market, so that you can get the best offers in the short amount of time and get clean offers. Does that make sense, Mr. Seller? Now, obviously, I'm just freestyling this, you guys, but I want you to put yourself in that type of mindset right now. You know that basic agents blank. What we do is blank that allows you to blank so that you can blank. Make sense, Mr. Seller or buyer? Or in Ashley and Jeff's case, clients that are wanting to get pre-qualified for a loan. So I want you guys to sit with that for a moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you guys all into a breakout room. And let's just stay there for 7 minutes. What I want you to do is I want you to fill in the blanks. I want you to fill in the blanks. And the reason why we're doing this is because this exercise helps you to clearly define what that gap is. I know in our business right now, what separates me as a coach. I know this, and I'm very clear, and it's not pompous, and it's not arrogant, it's none of that. I know that the impact that I have on human behavior and human development. I know that I lead with my heart, and I'll fucking smoke people's energy. I'll smoke people's energy. Their 100% can't even come close to my 60%. Can't even come close. And catch me on a good day at 100%, move. Nobody's gonna touch me as a coach. That's how I look at it. That's my clear delineation. That is my gap. That is my gap. And I couple that with all these years of sales experience and all this data that I've gotten from all these agents that I've had the opportunity to coach and sit with and learn from. And I use that to benefit you, to help you get better in your career. Why should you choose me as a coach? That's how I'm looking at this, right? So when you think about the clear delineation, why would someone choose Fast Real Estate over every other brokerage out there, right? Like, I think about these things and think like, wow, we have created such a gap in our industry, such a gap. Why are we number 2 in the world right now? Because that gap is so big from the other companies in the industry. Like I said, it's not rooted in being pompous. It's not rooted in being arrogant. It's like we have worked our ass off to create this gap. The way that our marketing looks, the way that our website looks. What other company out there has an agent population of 200 plus? And when you go on the agent website, it's all these cool avatars. Nobody does that. Nobody does that because that's a gap. That's something that's different, right? Nobody else offers the amount of resources that we offer. So I wanted to share that with you. You know how basic agents blank. What we do is blank that allows you to blank so that you can blank. Makes sense, Mr. Consumer, Mrs. Consumer. Before I go any further, before I put you guys into these breakout rooms, does that make sense? Does anybody have a thought? Anybody have a contribution? Because anytime I come back from an event, you guys know I'm filled up, I'm excited, I'm passionate. Anybody have any contribution before we go into breakout rooms? Patrick, you're shaking your head. Is that just a smile and a nod?
Oh yeah, no, no. I just missed you guys. It's just, you were talking about energy, and I'm like, you know what, Elijah, pumping me up right now, man. Goddamn, I feel it. Let's go get it. So that's why I'm shaking my head. I'm like, bro, yeah, no one can
All
beat you on
right.
energy, bro.
All right. Vernon, any thoughts, contribution before we go into breakout rooms?
None at the moment, Coach.
All right, cool. All right. So is the goal simple, or is it clearly defined? You guys know what to do, know what to write? What I want you guys to do is to start sharing. And here's what I want you to do. If Ophelia says something, and you know how basic agents do this, you know what we do, the blank. If it is weak, if it is like meh, or as the kids would say, it's mid, then you need to tell her that shit sounds mid. That doesn't sound like there's a clear gap. You can do better, Ophelia. You can do better, Blessing. You can do better, Oliver. Share with me, because when there's a clear gap, I promise you guys will feel it, you will hear it, you will sense it, and you will be able to identify with that gap. That's it. So I'm going to break you guys into groups right now. Let's spend until 9:15, and then we'll come right back here, and I want to hear what you guys got. So come correct. You guys ready? And listen, encourage everybody to get involved in the breakout rooms. If you're just sitting there and you're not involved, throw your hand up. If you are a little bit timid to get involved in the bigger conversation here, then get involved in the smaller conversations. I'm going to create the breakout rooms. They are all created now. And now I'm going to actually, let me create these a little bit smaller so you guys have time to go around the room. Let me go recreate. I'm going to do 6 rooms, recreate. All right, cool. I'm going to break you guys into rooms on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. All right, let's get back to the recording, you guys. Hopefully you found that exercise effective. And I wanted to take this on a context of music. I want you guys to think about some of your favorite musicians of all time, right? Whether it's the Whitney Houstons, Michael Jackson, Elvis, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, whoever it is, right? Living, past, present, whatever, or passed away years ago. But I want you to think about this. Like, there has been thousands and thousands of acts that never made it. There was thousands of people saying, we're going to make some music, and that just unfortunately never made it. And so, like, when you think about the gap between the people that truly made it, that have stayed the test of time, that their music is timeless and will last and echo through the ages, like, what separated them? What continues to separate them? How are they so different, right? How, when you see them, like, oh, there is nobody else like that. There's nobody else that has that type of voice. There's nobody else that dresses like that, has that style, has the courage to write lyrics like that, and says it and does not look over their shoulder, right? There's going to be, there always has and there always will be, right? And like, they become stars in our eyes. So I want you guys to think about that in the context of music. When you're thinking about how basic agents, here's what we do is, like, think about like how truly you're going to create this gap amongst you and other people. And you are the musicians, and you are the artists that will be known from now until the end of time. So I want to hear from some representatives from the group. And my hope is that we get some new people speaking on this. Who wants to share theirs, or who wants to share something that they heard from another agent in their group? And if I don't get hands up, I'm just going to go around the room and start calling on some people. And so I'll pause. Who's going to be my first 3 to 5 volunteers, because we do have 12 minutes, and then we'll get right into, everybody else. I got 2. Don't be shy, because I'm just going to call on you. So who else is going to contribute what they learned, what they heard, or wants to share theirs? All right, there's 3. Give me 2 more. Give me 2, 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 give me 2. Anybody else? Anybody else? Don't be shy. I see you guys like this, wanting to hit the button. Your eyes are saying, I'm going to hit the button, but you haven't hit the button to raise your hand. I'm going to pause. Let's just keep it moving. We're keeping it moving towards our dreams, goals, and visions. Okay? There we are. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a push. There it is. There it is. All right. We're going to start off with Samantha Benz. But before we go to Samantha Benz, I want to give a huge shout out to Samantha, as well as Kelly Kelly. I think I saw her on the call. Kelly Kelly is hitting her 3rd Hustlers Lunch in a row. That is this coming Monday. She's going to be there for tracking her behaviors in home, and she earned her another spot at Hustlers Lunch. Samantha Benz, for her very first time ever, is going to be sitting at that table as well for her tracking in July. So huge shout out to Samantha Benz. Would love to see all your faces there in the future. Samantha Benz, hit us with your contribution for this segment of our coaching, and congratulations to you. Let's go.
Thanks, Uncle E. All right. So
Wait, hold on a second. Hold on. God, I can't remember everybody. Kelly, are you still on? Kelly going once. Kelly going twice. All right. I'm going to get her back on the line in just a second, but I didn't know it was her birthday today. Samantha Benz, let's go.
Yeah, so I said I would keep mine short and sweet, and then I'm going to add what Chris said too. I said basic agents would meet you at an open house or meet you once and then immediately take you on the home shopping process. But what we do at Team Fast is we actually book a free buyer's consultation with you where we walk you through the process step by step. So there's no surprises along the way and you're well informed. And then we start introducing you to lenders, home shopping, all that stuff. Chris also added, we're the #1 rated team on Zillow. We have over 200 plus agents. We have access to off-market properties. So we share those listings prior to them going on the market. And so we utilize our network in Team Fast through EXP.
And then end it. What's the last 2 words?
I said through EXP.
Oh, no. On this exercise makes sense, right? So makes sense.
Got it. Yeah.
And then a word that I want you to eliminate, and I want everyone to eliminate this, eliminate the word free. Free just sounds like it just sounds budget, right? What I want you to do is a complimentary, a comprehensive, a deep dive into the buying process so you understand it's an educational opportunity, right? Whatever it is, just replace the word free. But Samantha, I love the way that sounds, and I love that you picked something up from Chris. Good stuff. Great contribution. Let's go to Christina Macias. What is your thoughts, contribution? Are you sharing yours, or are you sharing what you heard from your group? Let's go.
I'm sharing one of mine, and then what I heard from Jeff. I thought it was really good when he mentioned, everybody, why would somebody pick someone that's kind of working individually when you can work with someone with a team? And so that really stuck with me because I'm like, if for some reason somebody couldn't meet you at the door, for us, we have each other to lean on, whereas a solo agent would not. So then you can either have the situation where you're at the door waiting, and it's just kind of like no one wants to waste time. So to me, that in itself, like how valuable people's time is, and with their families, like they don't want to come in that situation. And if they ever do, they're going to completely strike that agent and know automatically from the jump, let me go with someone that has other people that can support in the case that stuff happens, because it does. So that was the one that I got from Jeff. And the one that I shared was just really explaining how our marketing is just above and beyond. So that many more people are going to see your property without even stepping foot in it. And then, which in turn, because our marketing is so great, they're going to want to go step in and check it out. And so in turn, it's going to result in a higher outcome for the sale price of your house. So I think that's what every seller would want. They just want the bigger bang for their buck. So that's
All right, so tie this in with me really quick. So what we do is clear with the marketing that allows you to get more visibility on your home, right? And get more people interested in the home, so that you can, as a consumer, fill in that last blank, so that you can
You can, as a consumer, make the most money from selling your house with us.
In the shortest amount of time.
In the shortest amount of time. Correct.
Last 2 words.
Yes.
Last 2 words.
In the shortest amount of time.
No. Makes sense.
I'm confused. I'm lost. You lost me.
No. The last 2 words of this whole entire exercise are makes sense.
Oh, okay. Yes. Does that sound good to you?
No. Not does that sound good to you? Makes sense.
Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Totally. Absolutely. Because I'm not a fan of, does that sound good to you? No, like it sounds amazing. Because why? Because you delivered it in a way that was absolutely amazing. I'm not waiting for validation to say, does that sound good to you? Do you want to meet with me and have an appointment? No. Makes sense? Wonderful. Let's go to the next one. It's like, it's such a confidence it's said in such a way of confidence, just like, makes sense, right? Like we're just moving forward. How does that make you feel? How does that sound? I don't really like the way that sounds. No, fuck that. You've presented it so well. That makes sense. Perfect. We're going to move on to the next part. So Christina, I love it. I love how you're introspective, and I love how you gain the knowledge from the group.
Thank
All
you.
right, before we go any further, I want to send a huge congratulations out to Kelly. Kelly earned herself at another Hustler's Lunch All right. And so did, oh, there's another person. Don't go too far. And it's her birthday today. So Kelly, let's give her a big happy birthday. Give her some love, give her some light, give her some emojis. Excited to celebrate with you on Monday. Lunch is on me.
Thank you.
Lunch is
Happy
on me.
birthday,
What's that?
Kelly.
Thank you, everyone.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I love it. I love it. Okay, I didn't hear all of that, but I heard obnoxious, or maybe I did not.
No, let's go swim in the ocean.
Okay. Oh yeah, go swim in the ocean. Have some fun today. Happiest of birthdays to you, Kelly. Let's go over to Princess Cole. Then we'll go Patrick, and then we'll end with Joanne. Let's go, Princess.
All right. So with you being a first-time home buyer, you probably think that a basic agent would just open a door and write you up a contract and that's it. Well, what we do is we educate you from start to finish on the entire buying process so that you can feel confident and not overwhelmed or stressed out with buying your first home. Make sense?
Totally. Okay, good. Okay. So that allows you to not feel, so I just want to make sure that I understood this. So this is talking to a buyer. That allows you to not feel stressed out, to feel confident so that you can, what's that blank right there?
So that you can feel confident in making one of the largest purchases that you have ever made.
Ooh, so it's confidence is that last blank.
Say it again.
The confidence was the last blank.
So that you can feel confident?
Yeah, so you filled the last blank in with them feeling confident. I just want to make sure I understand your flow.
Yes.
Wonderful. Sounds great. And then what did you take from your group? That was really good.
That was the one I actually, we kind of did off the rip, but one thing that I took away, Ophelia was sharing, just as a seller standpoint, you know how someone would just put up a sign. Well, no, we reach out to our team. We reach out and share that we have a new listing so that as many eyes can be on your listing within that first couple weeks.
God, imagine this, you guys. So good, Princess. So you know how basic agents would come to this meeting right now and hope that they're going to get the listing appointment and then put a sign in the yard and start the process. Well, what we do is we do a whole campaign before I even sit down with you today. What I did is I reached out to our database and I put some feelers out there for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Pinole. And if I was to get the signed listing agreement today, is anybody interested? And I was able to get X amount of people that responded, yes, we would want some information. So other agents are going to tell you what they will do once they get a signed listing agreement. I'm sharing with you what we have already done prior to even sitting at this table with you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. Right, so really, really good stuff, Princess. God, I love that. Patrick, let's go to you, and then we'll end with Joanne. Patrick, contributions.
Yep. So, you know how basic agents just opens a few doors, takes you on tours, and emails you properties here and there? Well, what we do is we stay on top of the latest market trends and developments while being the #1 brokerage in the country. But I'm personally here to create a long-lasting relationship and to manage your expectations. That allows you to have an amazing, seamless, and worry-free experience in one of the most stressful moments in our lives. Does that make sense?
Totally. Absolutely. But you see, as you guys break down this process, you guys, once again, remember the money is in the gap. Other average agents, this is what we do, and this is our clear delineation. Profit flows to differences and runs from similarities. Really great stuff, Patrick. Love that. Let's go, Joanne. Last contribution, then we'll wrap sesh.
Okay, now I have to follow Patrick and Princess. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. So what the basic agent does is they just hold open houses on weekends. What we do is we hold open houses during the weekdays. In the evenings, we hold neighbors only open houses. We go door knocking in your neighborhood, invite your neighbors to come over, bring their family and friends, and so that you can get the highest price for your house as quickly as possible. Make sense?
So it does. So go back a little bit. I loved all that early stuff. That allows you to what?
That
So
allows you, sorry. So that allows you to have the most eyes on your home so that it can sell for the highest price possible as quickly as possible.
Makes sense. All right, cool, you guys. I love this. And here's the thing. We only have a little bit of time. I gave you 10 minutes to be in these breakout sessions, but what I want you to do is I want you to write that out. And I want you to say, what is that gap? Your gap is the reviewing of documents, of disclosures, of negotiations, of leveraging the team, of our off-market, EXP exclusives, AKA Zenlist, but don't say Zenlist, it's our EXP exclusives. You guys have all these opportunities to really create that gap. That's where all the money is. That's where the money is. And right now, the gap is what needs to be shown and needs to have a spotlight on it. Because if there's no differentiation from you and somebody else, then I'm just going to pay you what I would pay that other person. Well, you're not going to go to BMW and pay them the same price that you would for a Corolla. It's a different class of cars. It just is. So you have to put yourself in that upper echelon and say, you know what? Here's my gap. Here's how it's clearly defined. Here's how it's clearly showcased. And here's how you as a consumer will get to experience that. So you guys, really good exercise, really good, contributions. Let's go to a couple people. I want to go, Ashley, one key contribution or one key takeaway from our time together today, and then we will wrap up.
My key contribution is that the words that you use matter, and it is okay to separate yourself from everyone else. You can be confident and know your worth and express that on a daily basis. And it's not coming from a place of egotism. It is coming from a place of hard work and just making sure that you're putting out there exactly what you should communicate across to other people.
I love it. I love it. Remember, you got wealthy are paid for expertise and results. That's what people are paying for. And the lowest are paid to trade time for money. You guys, anytime I go to these sessions, I'm going to try to unpack as much as I can to bring it back to you guys. I care about you. I appreciate you. We went 2 minutes over. I want to respect everybody's time. You guys have an amazing weekend. If you need anything, let me know. And I want to encourage you. If you're that person on this call that says, you know what, I need a little bit more time with Elias. I need a little bit more coaching. I need some one-on-one support. I need some help. Call eliasastuto.com, get on my calendar. Let's go full tilt, but I will promise you this. Don't come to that session not ready to unpack your entire bag. I'm going to unpack your bag, see what's working, what's not working, and hopefully replace it with some new things that are going to push you forward and make sure that you close out 2024 ahead. I appreciate you guys. As always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision, and go out there and crush your weekend. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.